This is my home automation project. At some point I decided to focus on one specific thing, give the project some good clear goals and functions that it needs to do. So I went with hydroponics. It's a great hobby to get into. So the program has two parts. There's a client and a server. The server can run anywhere. It can even run on a server in a data center someplace. It doesn't even have to be in the same building. That runs all the time, and it controls all the devices. It handles all the communications and logging and everything. The client is a desktop application you can use to connect to the server and interact with it. And I do plan on having cell phone apps in the future sometime, and a web control panel. So you'll have different ways of accessing it, and there's always remote controls and everything else, all kinds of devices. So I use an Arduino. It's a nice common hobby device. It's a microprocessor. It connects with USB. You can connect right to your local network or over Wi-Fi. There's a newer device that's just coming out now. It's called the UDO. It's a neat little device. It's actually a Giga RAM DDR3. It's got a quad-core ARM processor on this thing. It's got a load of features. If you hook up one device, like one light bulb, to each available pin on this thing, you could have 76 different devices hooked up, controlling each individually. I believe it was 14 of them can be PWM, so low voltage DC. It can dim it within a huge range, like very precisely. So this thing, it's actually two processors on the board. The one is the Arduino, the other is either Android or Linux. So you can actually run the server on the quad-core processor, have it talk to the Arduino, and then interact with the devices. Or this chip can actually interact directly with the devices. So it's pretty interesting. The device is about $130 US for the top level of the quad core. So it's perfect for this kind of a project. So I guess I'll show you what we have so far. So I'm starting it's just a standard compiled jar. The project is open source. So it starts up. I got all kinds of logging here. So the base of it is functional. It's working. It doesn't actually have any plugins. The plugins will do all the work, like connecting to the Arduino, handling all your timers and everything. There are schedulers and different utilities built into the library already, into the server, and it's also listening on a port, so the client actually connects to it. And it's loading one test plugin so far. It doesn't actually do much of anything, but commands work. And I can set the log level. And start up the client. It's not completed yet. The server's further along than the client is, but parts of it are working so far. It actually connects. And these are just test windows so far. This will be one view. It'll have different views. It'll be a great little program. And when you close it, it shuts down. Yeah, I believe that shut down improperly. I'll show you. So there's how it's supposed to properly shut down. And over here you actually have it logging that it connected. Starts to communicate. Some of these logs are temporary until it's completed. These will be removed then. So their client and server are communicating back and forth. And I can shut it down.